In recent weeks, many Americans have been closely following updates regarding financial relief programs, particularly as new announcements continue to surface from Washington. One of the latest developments that has drawn attention is the mention of a new one-time stimulus payment that could potentially provide much-needed assistance to households. The figures being discussed include a $600 payment and a larger $2,200 payment, both of which are being highlighted as part of efforts to address the ongoing financial strain that many families, retirees, and workers are facing. The idea behind these proposed payments is to offer direct support at a time when inflation, rising costs, and economic uncertainty continue to impact day-to-day living. The announcement has sparked discussions about how these payments might be structured and who could be eligible. Historically, stimulus payments have often targeted individuals with low to moderate incomes, seniors relying on Social Security, and families with dependents who may need additional financial support. If these payments are approved, many are wondering whether they will be distributed automatically, as was done with earlier rounds of stimulus, or whether recipients will need to complete any additional steps in order to receive them. The government has typically used IRS records, Social Security information, and other federal databases to ensure that eligible households receive their funds without unnecessary delays. For seniors who rely heavily on fixed monthly benefits, the announcement of new payments provides some hope that they may see extra money to help cover bills, groceries, or healthcare costs. Many older Americans have expressed concern that their Social Security benefits have not stretched as far as they used to, particularly as housing, utilities, and prescription prices rise. A one-time payment of $600 or then $2,200 would not solve long-term challenges, but could provide immediate relief. For working families, such assistance could help manage rent, childcare, or simply paying down debt accumulated over the past few years. The broader economic situation has played a major role in the discussion of stimulus. Inflation has eased slightly compared to its peak, but essentials like food, gas, and housing remain expensive in many parts of the country. Policymakers have emphasized that these payments, if enacted, are intended to help Americans bridge the gap and maintain stability. The announcement from the president has reassured many that the concerns of ordinary households are being heard at the highest levels of government. However, the details are still subject to legislative approval and ongoing negotiations, which means that nothing is final until Congress or other governing bodies officially authorize the funds. There are also questions about how the amounts are determined and whether everyone will receive the same payment. In past stimulus rounds, income thresholds were used to target aid toward those most in need, phasing out payments for higher income earners. It is possible that a similar system could be used again, ensuring that both the $600 and $2,200 amounts are distributed fairly and according to household circumstances. The larger figure may apply to families with dependents or to certain groups who are considered especially vulnerable, while the smaller payment may be directed toward individuals or single filers with lower incomes. The timing of the payments is another critical issue. Many people want to know when the money might be deposited or mailed, as past delays have caused frustration. The announcement suggests that the intention is to move quickly, but administrative procedures and legislative approvals can take time. Based on past experience, once a bill is passed and signed into law, payments can be delivered within weeks, often directly to bank accounts linked to tax returns or Social Security benefits. Paper checks and prepaid debit cards are sometimes used for those without direct deposit information on file. This announcement also carries a symbolic weight. It signals that financial relief is still a priority at the federal level, and that leaders recognize the ongoing difficulties faced by millions of Americans. Even though the amounts may not be enough to cover long-term costs, they can provide a cushion against immediate financial pressures. Many families see such payments as a lifeline, allowing them to cover urgent expenses without falling deeper into debt. At the same time, there are ongoing debates about the effectiveness of one-time payments compared to longer-term solutions, such as adjustments to Social Security, expanded tax credits, or sustained increases in benefits. Economists and policy experts are watching closely to assess what impact these proposed payments might have on the economy. Stimulus checks in the past have boosted consumer spending, which in turn has helped local businesses and communities. However, there is also concern that injecting additional money could influence inflation if not carefully managed. Balancing these outcomes is part of the challenge that lawmakers face as they evaluate how best to support households without creating new financial strains for the country as a whole. For individuals, the most important step right now is to stay informed, and updated through official government sources. Scams and misinformation often circulate whenever stimulus payments are mentioned, leading people to share personal information or banking details with fraudulent actors. The safest approach is to rely only on announcements from the White House, the IRS, or the Social Security Administration. If payments are approved, the process will be clearly outlined, and no third-party registration or payment to outside organizations will ever be required to claim the money. The President's announcement has certainly brought renewed attention to the conversation around economic relief. Whether the final amounts end up being $600, $2,200, or some other figure, the fact that this issue is being prioritized indicates that leaders are aware of the financial struggles still facing many households. For now, families, retirees, and workers across the country will be watching closely for further details, hoping that these new one-time stimulus payments will soon become a reality and provide the assistance that so many are waiting for. Disclaimer: this content is for informational purposes only and is not an official government announcement. The details about potential stimulus payments, including amounts, eligibility, and distribution, are based on public discussions and proposals that are still subject to change. No payment is guaranteed until it is formally approved and confirmed by official government agencies such as the IRS, the U.S. Treasury, or the Social Security Administration. Readers should always verify updates through trusted and official sources to avoid misinformation or scams.